Carrie, I wanted to join me for this, but she had to work today. And I'm assuming she'll know I would have done the review at this point. Um, I have never seen the musical Cats. It's actually one of her favorites, per se. Uh, First, so maybe I should start with this. What did I like it? What I liked about it and what I didn't like about it. Normally, I would just kind of give an overall review, but this is something I kind of need to break down. What did me and Carrie Ann think? Wow, we didn't like it. Um, I did not like it. It's not the worst movie I've seen this year. There are worse movies that I've seen. Because this is an entertaining kind of bad. This is like a so bad you gotta see it movie. But this is a bad movie. What stood out to me though that was positive? Well, the production design is actually. I can see why this lends itself to a stage play. The production design is fantastic. Like the sets, the design, like the scenery, is fantastic looking in terms of that in that regard. I also say the dance choreography is very well done. A couple of our main actor, well, not main actors, but a couple of like the veteran actors, like Judy Dench, Dame Judy Dench, Sir Ian McKellen, Idris Elba, like they're like the real high key actors. They're pretty good in the movie in terms of performance. Like there's nothing wrong. Like Judy Dench and Ian McKellen particularly, they do what they can with what they have. Ian McKellen even has a song at one point, his character, and even though he's not a very good, strong singer, he has a lot of personality and character that he just exudes because he himself is a stage man. He's not just an actor in terms of this movie screen. He is a stage actor. He's been in many plays, and it clearly shows his talent for stage acting. Same said with Judy Dench, Idris Elba. I wasn't a huge fan of like his singing. Love Idris Elba. I'll admit though, his voice, he's got a very thick accent, so it doesn't lend itself very well to singing, and that's pretty obvious. But no, they're good as well. One or two of the songs I didn't mind. Like the Skibbleshanks song. The Skibbleshanks song, I thought that was a good song. And I'll get to the songs more later in the negative part of it because the songs are a weird negative plus kind of they're a weird mix. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can point as a positive to this. I will say this about the effects. It is impressive when you really look at this that these are all no one is except for like when they're wearing coats. No one is wearing a costume. It's very impressive what they were able to accomplish with the actual effects that we get in the movie for it to look like costumes. But I think we'll start there when going into the negatives, because while it's impressive that these effects are really like kind of supplementing the are supplementing caution to some degree. When you get the close and look at them, like especially on the face, you can see the CGI sticking out there. There are scenes where it becomes very apparent, and that does get a little jarring. It does get a little jarring. Now that we've got that out of the way as a segue, what the hell? What the hell? Look, I've never seen the musical Cats. Carrie says the musical is much better. I can definitely see where the movements, the acting, the style lends itself more to a play than it does necessarily a movie production, because there's so many things that I'm questioning while I'm watching this movie. Like, okay, so they're cats. They're moving on all fours, but now they're dancing on two legs. They're running around on two legs. No, now they're back on all fours. I'm like, Okay, have a choice and stick with it, because in the play, I'm sure this works because you are localized to one area, so you got to make the movements to make it seem visceral. In this, though, you're here's the best way I can put it. It's that I get it. They're cats. I get that. In the context of this entire world, they're all cats. But you were walking, you're shaped like, you were walking half the time like, and you have the faces of people. And that doesn't meld in a movie. It doesn't meld in a movie at all. It's very jarring, if I'm going to be honest. Because then you get people going like that. I'm like, I just watched a person hiss like a cat. Like they think they're a cat, but they're not a cat. I'm just seeing a person's face on a cat's body. It doesn't even look like a cat's body. It looks like a person in a cat suit. A relatively convincing cat suit, but still a cat suit nonetheless. And then you get into the songs, which I'm sorry, but I did not like hardly any of the songs. Like, the rhythm is good. Like, the first song, like Genical Cats, which I had to look up what genical meant. It turns out it's a fictitious term for the play cats. But their whole genical cats, I'm like, the beats and everything, like the rhythms, that's all fine. But like just the lyrical structure of a lot of these songs didn't add up for me. Now, Carrie actually said that this lends because a lot of it lends itself from a non-rhythmic style of not music writing, but like poetry writing or short story writing, things along those lines, which works out fine, at least in my opinion, in like a short story, or anything you're reading where it doesn't have music put to it. But when you have music put to it, either rhyme or don't rhyme. Don't rhyme occasionally in the song, but don't rhyme in other parts of the song where it does there's like a very off, the rhythm just doesn't match to me. It's not flowing at all. And it's like that through the majority of these songs. Which, going into the songs, one of the song sequences, there's a song sequence that I'm pretty certain McCary had said either didn't exist or just aspects of it didn't exist. It's Rebel Wilson's song. And and like if you think the visual effects on the cats are occasionally a little jarring, but overall fine, which I would say that they're occasionally jarring, but overall they're fine. The effects work on these mice is horrifying. Like little baby faces on mice bodies, little mice just running around. Like, what am I looking at there? And then, and I'm not joking here, people faced sexualized because I'm seeing a woman's outline, cockroaches doing a choreographed dance number while being constantly eaten by Rebel Wilson. And me and Garrett just sitting there going, we're dumbfounded by what we're looking at. Like, what the hell? And the Rebel Wilson character and James Corden character is okay. He doesn't show up that, but he's a fat cat. That's his joke. That's his shtick. And also, quite frankly, Rebel Wilson's character is also a fat cat. That's your shtick. I'm at a loss for any other way I can describe the way I don't really like how I don't really like Rebel Wilson at all. I don't find her funny. I don't find her. I'm sure again, one of those things I'm sure they're a nice person in real life. If I met them, I'm sure I could have a nice conversation. But I'm not a fan of her work. With a few except I thought Pitch Perfect movies were okay. But other than that, that's like. Can I think of a movie I've seen her in that I liked her in? No. Like, Isn't Her Romantic was passable? But, like, that's the best I can say about Rebel Wilson. She's passable. Because her shtick is always the same thing. I'm a very large girl. I'm going to exploit that. She does have good singing voice. I'll give her that, especially when you see her like things like Pitch Perfect or like the female song and dance numbers and isn't a romantic. She's not a bad like performer in those regards. But their shtick always seems to be, I'm a large girl, I'm going to exploit that and make large jokes at my expense. Or it's going to be added on to there, I'm not the brightest bulb in the bunch, so we're going to exploit that little faux pas as well. That's always seems to be your shtick, and it's run its course really quick. And then Taylor Swift shows up to sing a song, and so they meet in this one place a year to do basically an American Idol to see who gets to be the jail cat, who gets a new life, more or less. And at one point, it gets interrupted by McCravity, which is, I get it, it's a play on a play on depravity, played by Idris Elba, and his cohort Taylor Swift. Why? I'm reading this now. Why is Taylor Swift second build? She's barely in the movie. Anyway, in this hanging moon in this opera house or playhouse that they rigged to just dispense catnip. It's like, okay, so you spent all the time rigging that to dispense catnip? Have you spending the entire year doing this? How have you been doing this? So I don't know about that. And then we get into this whole thing about magic cats. It's like, okay, why are there magic cats? There's two. There's McCravity, and then there's Mr. Mistopheles. I get it. It's not actually Mephistopheles, but it's Mistopheles. Like, anyway, so magic cats, and then they kind of don't explain why his magic doesn't work at the end for the bad guy McCravity, played by Idris Elba, who, when he had his hat and coat on, was fine. He was kind of a charming rapscallion bad guy. The minute the coat came off, the minute the hat came off, I'm like, oh, this is no. Just no. Just no. Like, there's not much else I could say for that except no. Like other people, the effects worked well, but on specifically Idris Elba, the whole cat effect did not work out well at all. And you know what? This kind of two last things I really want to point out on this, because I pretty much covered a lot of what I could really cover, is that sorry, one second. First off, the memory song, especially when we get Jennifer Hudson really belting it at the end, really, it was a very nice touch. But Carrie kind of leans over to me and goes, and because this is the thing, is that you basically get put into this balloon, lifted into the air, and you go to heaven or your new life or whatever, you just disappear in a twinkle. And I lean over to her and go, okay, did she die? And she says, like, it's not ambiguous in the play, but yeah, it's kind of implied to be like they're heaven stuff. To which earlier in the movie she goes, yeah, it's a cult. And I'm like, wait, what? And then I realized, oh God, they're all dancing and gyrating and singing while this head cat woman played by Judi Dench is sitting in this, or standing in the center with this giant symbol. I'm like, oh my God, it's a freaking cult. You're going to be sacrificed so you can get your new life by dying and being reborn in one of your next 9, 8 lives or whatever. Oh God, it's a goddamn cult. In which case, this makes this movie a lot more uncomfortable. So yeah, I had a second point I was going to make, and I kind of just blanked on it real quick. Yeah, I completely blanked on it. Sorry about that. But yeah, just this movie. Look, there's movies that are bad that I could see again, especially if someone wanted to go see it and wanted to go see it with somebody. This one this one isn't it. This is one of those ones I could not sit through again. Not that even if I did go there, I'd have a lot of competition for seating or anything like that. these guys aren't. This movie's not doing well at all. So yeah. You. I don't really have much else I can say on this except, oh man, this was a train wreck of a movie. It's unfortunate, but yeah, this was. I'll tell you what. After watching this movie too, I'm like, there's no reason you guys couldn't have done just worn suits. Maybe CGI'd something like the cat ear. CGI those got to move. I understand that. CGI'd out maybe like some of the seams and stuff like that in the makeup. But yeah, there's really no reason why you couldn't have worn suits. It would have probably saved you about 20 million, easy. So I mean, I don't know how much what the money budget went into the actual effects. I know it's $100 million budget, so you probably could have saved at least 20 million, maybe more. So ultimately, yeah, this was a hard sit. This was a hard sit. I was had to just walk it. Even Carrie had agreed, and she loves the musical. That during the first song, I'm like, okay, honestly, if you had walked out, I would have joined you. Like, what the hell? And she even said too, if you're not a fan of the musical or you've never seen the musical, this movie's not gonna make you want to go see the musical. This was a hard sit. This was a hard sit. Not the worst movie I've seen this year. Can't say that. But it wasn't a good movie. It'll be on my top 10. How far down on the list on the top 10? That's definitely the question. I'll have to wait until after tomorrow when I see probably the last movie I'm seeing for the year, Spies in the Skies. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I think I'll get one who would win out. I'll say the other one for tomorrow, along with the other who would win for tomorrow and the what if for tomorrow. So thanks for watching. See you later, folks.